This is the Cricket Matters podcast, and today we are talking about why you should fix pain first before changing your technique. So, obviously, James, you are in the cricketing world much more than I am. Do you see people? Well, you definitely see people in pain. Do people go after trying to fix technique rather than looking at why they're in pain first? Is that what you found in your experience?
Lots, and it's happened again just this last week, where I was overhearing a parent, a father, with his son, with another coach, explain to me that his son has back pain when he's bowling, and as a result, they're trying to change his technique to alter around the back pain. And I couldn't say anything at the time, and I wasn't going to say anything at the time because he's in the middle of a session. But it's the wrong way to look at it. The pain in the body is your body's response to crying out for help. That's a very simple way to say it. You shouldn't have pain, right? A lot of people just accept it. They think it's normal, particularly the older cricketers we work with. They go, I've got this pain in my shoulder, I've got this pain in this back. Yeah. It's always been there. It's nothing. No, why?
Yeah. This is something that we've talked about with Perry, our good friend Dr. Perry Nicholson, for years, isn't it? Like, pain is your body's last response. So essentially, there's been something going on for a long while. Your body's been dealing with it, maybe, tightening something up or changing the way you walk, move, whatever that is. And then pain is its last thing to go, hang on, I need something to change here because there's things going wrong. So pain is your body's final response, basically.
Exactly. So we need to work out why. First things first, why is your body in pain? Okay? Is it a simple fix? Is it a difficult fix, right? Wherever it is, we shouldn't be thinking to address technical issues first because you're in pain. We need to address the pain side of things first because pain alters your movement, right? It alters the way you walk. It alters the way you run. It alters the way you move. But more importantly, it alters the way you bat. It alters the way you bowl. It alters the way you throw the ball. I'm a great example. I have a grade 3 separation on my clavicle before I broke my clavicle many years ago, right? Which means my pec minor is hanging on like a thread half the time.
It's holding your shoulder in for dear life.
Yeah, it is. So when I throw the ball, I'm gutted. Like I used to have a gun arm until I did this snowboarding, right? And it really hurts. I had to choose when I throw the ball, and when I do it, it hurts like hell. Right, I had to play to that pain when I'm throwing it. That's a thing I ain't gonna fix, right? It's just there, but it alters how I do things, right? So, what happens now in cricket when they're batting or when they're bowling? If you have back pain, for example, right, your body is going to try subconsciously to avoid you going into a position where you're in that pain, which means your arms could change position, but you could fall off a little more to the side. Your legs stride could shorten. We don't know. It could alter in so many different ways.
You might not be able to run as quick, etc., etc. There's so many things, isn't there?
But the idea is pain alters movement, but alters movement in terms of technique at the same time too. So if we don't address the technical issues, the pain first, and you keep playing through pain, it can cause major issues long-term with your technique, right? What I mean by that is you're going to develop bad habits. And we're seeing it. I've seen it recently with a pro player, okay, where he was extending his left-handed batsman, right leg, right, extending it as he was playing the cover drive in front of him. What we found out was he had major hip pain. He wasn't able to flex and go into the shot and play the shot properly because the body's going, no, that hurts, stop. So he got out of pain, but guess what he ended up doing for a long time afterwards? He ended up playing that same way. So his body had got used to the motor control side of things, got used to the idea of extending that front leg as he played the cover drive, right? Which is a terrible position at a pro level, which means you're always going to nick off, you're always going to cause issues. So they had to retrain the brain how to get out of those bad habits. And that is a really important aspect, right? If you're in pain, it affects your technique. If you get out of pain and you keep on doing what you're doing, it affects your technique long term, and you have to retrain the brain to go back to the old default patterns back at the start.
Yeah, you
So,
don't want to be ingraining bad habits, do you?
no,
Basically,
that's
so
the
you want to
last
get
thing
you want to
we
get
do.
out of pain as quick as you can. Obviously,
Exactly.
who wants to be in pain?
Absolutely. So we've got to get out of pain, right? And we've got to make sure it doesn't affect our technique. So if we're in pain and playing in pain, we need to be mindful of how much it impacts the changes in technique that we're trying to do, for good or for bad. And that's a really, really important here. Now, so like the idea is, look,
But people want to continue to train. That's the problem, though, isn't
yeah,
it?
I know. It's everyone's like,
continue to
runners, triathletes. They want to
Yeah.
they do through pain. They don't realize the damage they're doing. But you're essentially playing whilst having a flat tire, right? So you can drive on a flat tire, right? But at some point, it's going to cause major damage. Okay, and I think that's a good way to think about it. Is if you're in pain, right? It may not be a problem straight away, but if it happens long term, the body always finds a way to adapt, and it alters your motor control patterns, which means it's going to impact your technique, and that's the last thing we're going to do. Particularly if you've got a good technique. Well, if you've got bad technique, well, guess what? It might make it better. Who knows, right? Right? But we've got to fix the flat tire. We've got to fix the flat tire before we start doing anything else. And again, a lot of players I've seen, and whilst working with other people, don't communicate that they're in pain to their coaches for fear of not being in the team. However, when things go wrong and you start to analyze it from a pain perspective, a movement perspective, you ask them, hey, look, is there something wrong with that shoulder? I got a kid literally a couple of weeks ago who came to me, and I could see him playing inside out all the time. I was like, mate, there's something not right here with your back shoulder. It looks like it's off. Let me do a couple of screens. You go, well, before you do, I'm in pain. It's been hurting for the last 2 months. Right? So there you go. That's an example of how it's affected his batting. He's playing inside out. And no matter what we did there, because we could drill and drill as much as we possibly can, he ain't going to do it because he's got to fix the shoulder problem first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get yourself out of pain first, guys. It's vitally important so you don't ingrain those bad habits. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train. And remember, our goal is to make you a better cricketer.